And hi, this is Dustin with Mad River Paranormal Investigations. And I thought we would do a quick little video showing some of the tools that we use during our investigation so you guys have a better idea of what we're using and how they work. And the first, well, this little fella here, Erica bought one, and I had one in my bag. And if you've seen the highlights of the last investigation, this thing went off a few different times in the hallway. A few times it was when no one was even in the apartment, and it's already activated. You can see it's moving a little bit. It's not even turning on. You have to touch it, and it activates. So I don't know what this was. $2, they weren't much. $5, but those things are pretty cool. I also have. We haven't used them yet. And I don't have them on me, but they're motion censored lights. We're going to be able to set those up, and if it detects motion, the lights will come on. So I think that's going to be very interesting, like in a hallway. If you see those lights come on, that could be visually pretty interesting to see that happen if there's no one in the hallway. Now, I know we did a lot with the flashlights. Erica had a lot of luck in the bedroom with this. And they're just the old mag light, twisty top. I call them twisty top flashlights. And what you do is you just barely turn it on. See, now it's on. And if you just barely turn it off and you set it at the end of a table, I don't know if you can see that, as you've seen in the video with Erica, the light would come on by itself, no one touching it, and go off by itself. Now, I've used this device, so to speak, for 10 years, if not more. And welcome to the train, it's coming. Um, I can't say this is paranormal, but whenever these things go off, usually other things happen, EVPs or so it's a good tool to have. And how do you explain a flashlight turning off and on by itself? It's a very interesting thing. So we have two of those that I like to use. This I just purchased. I used to have one years ago, and it's just a laser grid light. You can change the grid with the top there. You set this up in a hallway, and if any shadow comes into the hallway, you're going to see it on that grid. Some of those lights are going to be, they're going to either be blacked out or they're going to move, and it's going to be a good indication that something's in the hallway that you can't see. Now we got two different EMF detectors. This is my favorite here. This is called a millimeter, and it measures. I don't know if you can see the screen. It measures the EMF, and this one actually has a temperature sensor as well. It'll tell you the air temperature of the room you're in, and the theory is spirits give off EMF, and this device will capture it, and it'll measure it. And there's even a button on there that will record the highest EMF spike, so you can have record of that. Again, a really interesting tool. Is it 100% verified that spirits give off EMF? Absolutely not. Through my experiences doing this and other people who've done this for years, it's a tool that you use that's just like the flashlight. It's an indication that something abnormal is happening, and it's usually accompanied by, for me, I focus a lot on EVPs and voice recording, which we'll get into that right here, which is just a basic Sony. I think I paid $50 for this digital voice recorder. Upload it to my computer, and I have a computer app that can kind of, we can go through the audio, we can highlight it, we can change the audio level so you can hear it better. You can slow it down a little bit so you can hear the words if they're speaking quickly. But to me, this is the most important tool you can have if you want to investigate the paranormal. All our phones have the same kind of quality of digital recorder. This is just easier to review through the computer on your phone. You can still do it. And I always tell people who tell me that they feel like something's happening in their house or apartment, pull out your phone and turn on the recorder. It works real simple. Just like I tell people, it's like a dog whistle. Dogs can hear them, but me and you can't. These digital recorders pick up all levels of the audio spectrum that our ears can't hear. So that's why there could be a voice on our recordings, but we're not hearing them in real time, because these recorders capture spectrums of sound we can't hear. Why do ghosts speak in those spectrums? I have no idea. You'll hear many people give their theories or their opinions. I've done this for, I don't know, 15 years, I guess. And I've learned enough to know that I know nothing. I really don't know anything. And any paranormal investigator that really tries to tell you they know for a fact that this is paranormal or this isn't, they probably don't know what they're talking about, because it's not a measurable event. I can't say, okay, at 10:30 we're going to have a spirit show up here and talk with us. It's random. You use all these different tools to try to help guide you that maybe something's happening, but it's such a mystery. It's still a mystery, and I've been doing this for a long time. So I know people sometimes watch these videos and they expect a full body apparition or something to get thrown off the wall. And that stuff does happen, but it's extremely rare. So these tools, especially the EVP for me, if you're a non-believer, how do you explain a voice captured on this voice recorder in a room where there was no other person? It's kind of hard to explain. And that's one of the reasons why I love the voice recorder. It's simple, and it's kind of hard to discount or discredit what we capture with it. Now, you'll hear us talk about the ghost box, spirit box. And this is the old original, the SB7. I think it might be out of power. Nope, there it goes. I'll turn it on for you so you can hear it. Well, sorry. Batteries are a little hokey, but it's just a radio. I'm trying to keep the batteries in there, but it's not going to work. I got to work on that. But all it is an AM/FM radio. And how the spirit box works is you can scan it through the channels at different rates, and it will automatically scan through the radio station. And the theory is, in that white noise between the radio stations, spirits can somehow manipulate that to speak. Now, it doesn't always work. We did a ghost box session at our last investigation, and we didn't really get anything, I don't think. And that happens. And sometimes it'll be 3 or 4 investigations before we ever get anything on it, which to me is compelling because voices just don't appear out of these things. I mean, it has to be the right environment and the right circumstances have to be happening for it to work. But I've captured compelling voices through this little device. And again, it's just an AM/FM radio. Nothing special, nothing fancy about it. Now, this is another EMF detector. I like this one because it has lights to it. And green is like 0, and it will go up. Let me see if I can, my phone no. But it's green, yellow, orange, and red. So instead of, this one measures it, it will tell you 9.6. This one will give you a general idea by the color. It's really good, and we can set these up in a room, and if they go up, you're going to see it. If we're watching through the cameras, it's going to be really easy to see that these things are being activated. And again, last investigation, they didn't go off much. So when they do, something weird is happening. And lastly, I just purchased this. My other team member, Jeb, has one of these. We love using them. It's called a REM pod. And it's fun because it's noisy and it's got lights. It's a fun little device to have. So we're going to turn it on here. And this went off with Erica a few different times in the bedroom. Now this thing was set up that, as you can see, you have to get close to it. You touch it. But yeah. So when Erica was sitting on that bed and it went off, and it was like that, it stayed on for a few seconds. Something was close to this thing. Because that night, I'd say we investigated, 4 or 5 hours that night? And this thing went off just those few times in the bedroom with Erica. I think it may have went off once in the hallway, but that one was kind of questionable as far as what caused it. So these things don't go off, but when they do, and you're in a house and it's the middle of the night and it's dark, and you hear this thing start buzzing, and you see these lights going off, it's pretty interesting. And it definitely gets your attention. So that's what we use. Oh, and we do have the cameras. I had gotten cameras a while back, and they were not any good. Now that we have an audio and video person that knows what she's doing, it was very clear that my idea of purchasing those cameras was not a good idea. So I got the cameras she suggested that we get, and they're wireless, they're digital. We can upload them to a cloud and review them. The last investigation, 3 of the 4 cameras, right?
2 of 4.
2 of the 4 didn't. We couldn't access the video, and I know too. One of those cameras in particular was in a bedroom that there was a lot of activity that we could watch through the TV monitor, but when Erica went to review it, she couldn't access it. So now we have much more higher quality cameras that's going to be reliable, that's going to have sound. The cameras that I thought had sound, but they didn't. So we're going to have an unbelievable, we got 8 cameras now. So we're going to have be able to cover things a lot better than we did. And the reliability and quality of these new cameras are going to blow your mind. It's going to blow my mind because I'm going to be so excited to be able to see these things again. So yeah, I know one of our ghost paranormal investigators is talking about getting the Amber. What's it called?
Obulus.
The Obulus. I think it's the Obulus 6 now. That's the new one. I don't know when he's purchasing it. These things are not cheap, but it's like a word generator. And I don't know how it works. They say, it's almost the energy of the spirit can manipulate the box and it will create words. Me personally, I've seen some videos and some investigations where those things have been pretty compelling. I think it's another good tool to have in your toolbox because you never know what's going to happen. Now we have an investigation coming up in 2 weeks. Another big investigation. We'll give more details after we're done. And the reason we do that is we don't want people showing up where we're going to be interfering with the investigation because it's not easy to go through this stuff, and the less interference we have, the better. So that's why we keep it a secret until after it's over. But 2 weeks from now, we have a really exciting investigation. And with all the 8 cameras that we're going to have set up, Eric is going to be busier than hell going through that footage and making a video for everybody. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk with you later.